Now, today's text is about the abundance and prosperity of Solomon's time. He built a great kingdom and a great king. I could govern that way. As you can see in the words, the organizations were organized so well that they were suitable for ruling such a great country. And those organizations were well led by the people of Solomon. Helpers, Solomon and those who were with him were well placed in each position, and they performed their duties well, so that we could really see that the country was achieving an indescribable extreme prosperity. And what about its people? I can see how you can live peacefully in such a country. When I saw this, I thought so. Behold, because of one man, this nation and all its people are thus blessed. We could see here that God blessed this one person, and all the communities to which he belonged were blessed together. So what is the title of today's sermon? Now, let's start together. Do you have the kingdom prospered because of Solomon, and all the people there were blessed because of Solomon, so peaceful and abundant? I can tell you that you can enjoy such a life. Therefore, when I become a channel of blessing and I am blessed, my family and my family will be blessed. If we are blessed, our church will be blessed. Our church members will be blessed. We know that our country and people will be blessed. And the second is that blessing. Now that I think about it, it is not because I do what I do well that there is blessing, but because God gives it. God is the source of blessing, and God is the source of blessing. That's right. God blessed the man called Solomon, and because of that, we can find that all the people of Israel who came to Arthur were blessed. Today we are truly blessed by God. When you bless me, we can look forward to the fact that not only me, but my family, our church, and our nation will be blessed. Looking at the word today, what should we do? Let us see how we can become a channel of blessing and see what blessings we receive. Now, first of all, in the era of Solomon, we can see from the text today that Israel prospered because of the rule of this man called Solomon. People said that the population of Israel was as large as the sand on the seashore. God probably made a promise to Abram in Genesis 22:17. What is that you gave to Abraham? I will make my hate as much as the sand in the sea. It can be said that this promise is the fulfillment of the promise he made to Abraham, especially. How do so many people follow? I enjoyed eating and drinking, so I was living a peaceful and happy life. I'm telling you what they say. And in the slum era, the land and territory were very large. The territory occupied by Israel in Solomon's time stretched from Hasu to the land of the Philistines, the land of men, and even to the land of patriotism. I did. This river refers to the Euphrates River. So, the territory of Israel at that time was bordered by the Euphrates River to the north, extended to the patriotic border to the south, and included the land of Bullet to the west. If you look at it now, Egypt. Actually, I just have this side, which means that the land is enormous. This is the land that David gave to Solomon. So Solomon ruled over all of this vast territory that his father had given to him by David, and over all of the nations that belonged to that region. He did not rebel against this new king called Solomon. What did he say in the 20th century? During Solomon's lifetime, all the nations offered tribute and served him. That's what you're saying. So we can see that no nation in any conquered territory rebelled against Solomon. What about Solomon's time? Military power was also great, and you can see that it was an era of advanced not only military power but also academia. God added wisdom and understanding to Solomon, so that Solomon had more wisdom than all the men of the East and all the men of Egypt. So we know that Solomon spoke 3,000 proverbs, wrote 1,015 songs, and talked about plants and animals and birds and insects and fish and so on. To say that means to study these things. That's right. This means that not only the humanities, but also the natural sciences and the arts developed tremendously in Solomon's time. Oh, to hear the wisdom of Solomon among all the kings of the earth who have heard the fame of his wisdom. There were kings like Solomon who came to Jerusalem. Wasn't one of the famous kings recorded in the Bible the Queen of Sheba? Well, so according to what was passed down through Solomon's 2-year-old back now, after giving birth to the child eventually became the king who ruled the region. And during the Solomon era, Israel, Jerusalem, became a country with the subcultural background of the Israeli people. Which country is that? Ethiopia. Is this the time of Solomon? It was such a powerful country that even influenced Ethiopia. Because it was so strong nationally, the people were able to live in peace. And these 25th verses explain how the people of Solomon's time were blessed in the days of Solomon, Judah, and Israel. From Dan to Beersheba, there was peace under the vine and under the oak tree. I lived very rich and generous. Now, so we can learn a few facts from the prosperity of Solomon's time. As I said earlier, the first is that the source of blessings is God, and blessings come from God. God created the world and all that is in it, and he is the subject of the Mayu that uses them as he pleases. I hope you believe David certainly believed this. So David confesses in Chronicles 29:11-12, Yahweh, the greatness, the power, the glory, the victory, the majesty, they fight to the death. All that is in heaven and earth belongs to the Lord. The power of death belongs to Yahweh, and you are the chief citizen of all Nopsa. Wealth and deafness of ears are the subject of all things that dance, but boredom and power contend in their hands, and knowledge of all men is great and strong. Age in hand around. Yes, I believe that you and I should have this faith in God, because only when we have this faith can we be free from the problem of ownership. Everyone. Why are there so many worries in our hearts? Why can't we be at peace? But in the end, it's about ownership, because I think I have to have it somehow. It never makes us peaceful, that possessiveness. To say that it will never set us free, sadly, as we are today, everything belongs to the Lord and everything comes from the Lord. Because we don't have that belief, we end up thinking that we have to solve this problem of ownership by ourselves, and that's why we do that every day. It means that you have no choice but to live a life of anxiety and worry. But if we truly believe in the fact that God is the source of good, and if we are convinced that it is given from God, then we are not only free from this problem of possession, but enriched by the report of God. I believe that you will be able to enjoy the peace of mind. Believing in God as the source of blessings will lead us to a clearly blessed life. Second, As I said earlier, God is the source and source of happiness. That is what God gives. If you know that God has to give, then to whom did he give the blessing? He gave it to Solomon. So this abundance and prosperity in the days of Solomon was precisely because of Solomon. We can tell the truth here. Then, can you say that the prosperity of Solomon's time was never because of Solomon? The Bible tells us that Solomon was blessed. Then we will bring prosperity to this Solomon Israel. It will be a reason to look at this man called Solomon, who became the channel of blessings, and what blessings he received from him. Now, what are we bringing because of me in our time? What am I giving to my family? What do I give to my church? What do you think? Am I the conduit of our family's blessings? Or am I the one of our family's worries and worries? The church can say the same. Am I a burden on our church? Or I might consider whether I am the conduit of blessings that breathe life into our church. Ladies and gentlemen, when you look through the Bible, you can clearly see that people of faith were the kind of people who clearly brought blessings to their time. It is clear from the Bible that just as God made Abraham a conduit of blessings, he made men of faith in every age to bring blessings to their own age, to make their families strong and blessed. Therefore, to say that Solomon was used as a conduit of blessings in his time is to say that the very promise God made to Abraham was fulfilled through Solomon's life. This means that the appearance of each era, I am telling you that it depends on whether there is that person who is the channel of blessing or not. In all the ages of the Old Testament, the kingdom in which Israel prospered was clearly a judge who was the conduit to God's blessing. There was a king or a priest, yes. However, when the nation of Israel became slaves, enslaved, sold, and destroyed, there was no one to be a conduit for such blessing. Today, we are all today. If, like Solomon, you become the channel of blessing in this age, if you become the channel of blessing in our church, if you become the channel of blessing in your homes, your families will live in peace, our church will revive and develop, and our country will prosper. So how did Solomon become a conduit of blessings in his time? Solomon had the promise of God and he feared God. And Solomon spared no effort for the blessed life of his people. We are the ones who prepared Solomon like this. He said he was prepared to be used as a channel of blessing to God. In other words, God blesses him and his community through a prepared person. So what if we are ready as a door? We believe that God will bless our families, the churches we belong to, and the communities we belong to. Another of the lessons that flourished in Solomon's time is that God's blessings extend to all areas of our lives. God told Solomon that he made the people as numerous as the sand on the seashore. And God gave Solomon the people he needed to rule these people as king of Israel, the people of Solomon, who were very important, so that Solomon could fulfill his role as king. He said he had a lot of friends who helped him. So if you look at the text today, verses 1 to 20, we are recording the names of Solomon's subjects. Solomon had these important people. If you look at this, there will be people around you who are very important to you. Think about it. Who is important to me? We have such important people in our family and around us in our church, and it is also a blessing of God to be able to get such important people, those people who really need them. God gave Solomon just that. He gave you a corridor of material things, and he gave you a corridor of abundance, and he gave you the kind of blessing that allows you to obtain dignified people in the same way. You know what they say. So they built a beautiful relationship with each other, like this. God's blessings extend to all areas of our lives, and then we can say that this is a blessed life. What is this blessed life that we live in because of God's blessing? What is not the answer to this question? Perhaps you could say that this is a life where you struggle to satisfy your desire to possess, right? So every day is desperate, that life is bound to be tense every day, and if it is not filled, you will always have no choice but to live a life of anxiety, worry, and worry. But there is food for daily use, healthy, and if we have a sound mind, have the strength to protect ourselves, and have important people around us whom I really love, and even more so if we are doing things that we can devote ourselves to God in accordance with God's calling, then the Bible gives us the blessing that Solomon gave us. It was given to you. I'm clearly saying that. This life is called a happy life or an abundant life. Looking back, we can see that God has given us the same blessing. Are you worried about not having anything to eat today? Are you ashamed that you don't have money to buy someone a cup of coffee today? Are you sick because you don't have the energy to do anything today? Guys, I want someone to call that name one day. I want to meet someone once. Is there anyone around? If not, I hope you believe you are a blessed person. The problem is they're not doing that. Why don't we do that? Why can't we do that? Like I said, it's because of ownership. It starts with that. It evolves from that. If it keeps driving us into locked prisons, into darkness, and fills us with worry, it keeps us from enjoying the abundance that we can enjoy today. God is what we can do today. He gave us the richness to enjoy everything. Don't miss it and try it today. Be willing to free me for it today. Oh, when we did, we were really being blessed. You will realize that I am living a life of abundant blessings, and that through that life God is giving you the same blessings he gave to Solomon, the blessings he gave to anyone who was the conduit to the blessings that Israel enjoyed when it was rich and prosperous. I hope you believe I bless you to believe in God as the source of blessings through your word today, and to make mine the promises of this blessing that you have given through this word of revelation. May we strive to establish ourselves as people who love God and love our neighbor according to God's will. When we do this, our home is where we are. We believe that we will prosper because of God's blessing, and that we will all enjoy peace together. I will pray. God the Father, let us today be the source of God's blessings, the people of God, the faith that believes in God as the source of blessings, and the acceptance of God's promises as ours, and the love of God and neighbor. Let us be ready wherever we are so that our families, our churches, our countries and peoples may be blessed, and bless our saints with the grace of living a blessed life. Pray in the name of Jesus. Amen.
Generate by AI.